41 NBC. It's time for Friday night football action. You're in the end zone, insured by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive more, spend less. Call or click today for a free quote. Also brought to you by 5-Star Automotive.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the End Zone, brought to you by Safe Auto. I'm Bill Shanks from Fox Sports 1670 and The Telegraph. Tonight, it's the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. We've got only 2 games in the Middle Georgia area tonight, but later on we'll hit the road and check on FPD as they travel to Atlanta. We'll also see how a number of Middle Georgia teams did on the road in Week 3 of the postseason. But we start in Rochelle, where Wilcox County hosted Marion County. The Patriots had an easy game last week to get to the quarterfinals as they beat Greenville 42-14. This opponent was expected to get a little bit tougher. The Eagles are coached by Mike Swamey, a former defensive coordinator for Robert Davis at Westside here in Macon. Marion County beat Charlton County, one of the premier powers in the state, by 17 points last week. This is only their 7th year of playing football, but the Eagles have won this year with great defense. Could they slow down the powerful Wilcox County offense? Well, let's head south for the action between the Patriots and the Eagles, where, of course, it was a great crowd on hand tonight. First quarter, Patriots with the ball. McKeel Grace looks to pass, tries to take the ball up the left, but instead he's blocked, makes a 25-yard pass to Telly Whitfield, and it's going to be down there around the 15-yard line. Grace now again, look at this little pass. In the end zone, Jonathan Howard with a great catch for the score. PAT made it 7-0. Here's our 5-star drive of the week. Patriots with the ball. Grace looks to pass and tries to run up the middle, then backs up, changes his mind, and then passes to Maurice Edwards at the 44-yard line, steps out of bounds there. Then Grace, the pass. Jonathan Howard tries to run up the middle, but gets stopped to about the 38. Grace again then, up the middle, gets dropped to the 34 for a pickup of 4 yards. Then Grace left side, small gain before he's going to dart out of bounds inside the 30 to the 25-yard line. Grace again moving this offense to A.J. Saylor at the 14, and he's taken down by the Eagles. Then the drive will continue. Knocked the helmet off there. Grace passes Quinn Tisdall in the end zone. Oh, look at that catch right there. That might be better than the first one. What a catch, 14-0. Patriots. That was our 5-star drive of the week. Now, second quarter, the Eagles, the ball with 10. James Taylor gets the ball, makes a little music, runs up the middle for a touchdown for the Eagles. It was 14-7. Wilcox still out on top. Eagles kick off to Wilcox County. Jonathan Howard catches it at the 1-yard line and makes it to the 20 before he's going to be taken down around there. And then they go to work again. Grace passes. Jonathan Howard is going to get it right here at the 36. He's going to be pulled out of bounds by Marquise Bridges. Then Grace, near midfield, watch him run up the middle for a nice little cut run, about 10-yard gain. Grace again, calling his name a lot because he was doing his work. Jonathan Howard at the 40, takes the ball for another 5 yards. Then Grace to Maurice Edwards. He's going to catch it, gets the Patriots about 10 more yards as they're driving again. Then Grace runs up the middle. And watch this run right here. It's going to cut back to the right and get that sideline and get in there for the score. That made it 20-7 after the PAT was missed. Wilcox now driving again on their own 15-yard line, and Grace will take off. Look at this run right here. This kid, he may be a player of the week here. 55-yard run. Then Grace back looking. Jonathan Howard at the 20 gets about 7 more yards before he's taken down, and then Grace. Jonathan Howard again looking in the end zone. Touchdown. This was all Wilcox County. 39-21 the final. Patriots are now 10-2. They have won 8 straight. They go to the state semifinals next week, and we'll tell you who they'll play a little bit later on in our show. Up next, Northside at home against the team that knocked them out a year ago. More on the end zone right after this.
Welcome back to the end zone, insured by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. The drive of the week is brought to you by 5-Star Automotive.
Back on the show. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Bill Shanks. We talk about a history between 2 powerhouse schools. Northside has had just that with the Tucker Tigers. 5 years ago in the state semifinals, the Eagles had a great comeback win after being down by 3 touchdowns. Then again last year in the state semifinals, Tucker got revenge with a last-second touchdown on a fumble recovery to knock Northside out of the playoffs. This year, looked like another epic matchup, at least on paper. Tucker was 10-2 coming in after beating North Paulding last week, while Northside still undefeated after blowing out Thomas County Central. The Eagles have been scoring at will on teams all season. They were averaging almost 44 points per game coming into this one. Let's head back to McConnell Talbot Stadium now for the action, where you know there was a great crowd on there with those fans. They love their Eagles down there. They were supporting the team tonight. All right, here we go. Tucker will kick off to start the game, and Keyshawn Hill, boy, he's been a great player for Northside all year long. He's going to run the ball up the middle on the kickoff, and look at him go. About a 36-yard run there to give the Eagles pretty good field position. They did nothing on that first drive, but they would come back later in the first quarter and start to get a little bit of things going. Then Glenn Smith throws a ball that's going to be intercepted by Devonta Reynolds, who's going to run the ball to about the 45-yard line. Well, he's going to go a little bit further than that, down to the 45, down to about the 25, and then knocked out of bounds. Then Tucker would get on the scoreboard. Jawan Williams is going to do a fake and run it about 15 yards, and he's going to score. And Tucker was out on top after the PAT to make it 7-0. Northside now would go to work. Curtis Martin, 30-yard run from their own 20. But the Eagles really struggled offensively in the first half, and Tucker would do some good things, but then the defense for Northside would get going. Here's a good play here where Jawan Williams gets sacked around the 17. Good D by the Eagles right there. 7-0 Tucker at half. Let's go now to the second half action where there was really no scoring in the third quarter either. Both teams played very good defense here. Northside trying to move the ball. They could not. Here on the shotgun, trying to give the ball off. Nothing right there. Tucker playing solid defense. Then they go to work on offense, and that Eagle defense gets going. 2 plays here, nothing for Tucker, and it was 13-3. Northside still losing by 10 points in the early part of the fourth quarter. Now beginning of the fourth, Northside's Glenn Smith hands it off to Stephen Reynolds. And watch this run right here. How about a 53-yard run? And he's going to score. Yes, he will. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Eagles, and the crowd was going nuts. The PAT would be up and good, and that would make it 13-10. Northside now down by 3 points. Tucker still out on top. Tucker now goes to work. Jawan Williams hands off to Stephen Reynolds, but Northside is just going to strip the ball away from him. Trey Payne takes the ball away, runs it about 10 yards, and the crowd, you know they're going to be loving that good defensive play right there. Then Northside goes to work. Jawan Williams, Curtis Martin gets it. He's going to get into the end zone for the touchdown. The Eagles would be on the board. The PAT would be no good, and that would make it 16-13. Eagles out on top. Now, Tucker would get the ball. This is getting late here. 7:29 left to go in the game. Tucker with the ball. Jawan Williams sprints to the right for about no gain. Then Williams again hands off to Sanders. He gets about a 5-yard gain right there, and then Williams will run it himself. He'll keep it, fake it, run to the left side, and get in for the 10-yard touchdown. That made it 20-16. Tucker out on top with about a minute 22 left, but Northside came back and won at the very end again. This was one great robbery. Northside wins it 23-20 is the final. They are now 13-0. They are on to the semifinals next week. Another great win and a great robbery of these two teams between Tucker and Northside, and the Eagles advanced this year after getting knocked out by the Tigers a year ago. Up next, FPD. Could they win on the road in Atlanta? We'll find out right after this.
Welcome back to the End Zone, insured by 1-800-SAVE-AUTO. Hit of the Week is brought to you by Ford.
Now it's time for our Game of the Week, and we picked FPD this week because Vikings were on a pretty good run after their first GHSA playoff win last Friday over Brookstone. They are the 13th seeded team in Single A, while Brookstone was the 4th seeded team. So it's quite an accomplishment for the Vikings to go to Columbus and get the upset. Tonight they had to go back on the road and head to Atlanta to play Landmark Christian. They also beat a higher seeded team last week. The 12th seeded War Eagles beat 5th seeded Calvary Day. The Vikings actually beat the War Eagles last year at home, but could they win in the playoffs this year on the road? Let's head north to Fairburn for the highlights of this game. We appreciate Tucker making the trip up here. Here come the War Eagles, come out running. We knew they would. Jeremiah Kirkland takes it here for a toss. Gets about 8 on the play. A few plays later, they go to the air. Stockton McGuire drops back, fires over the middle to Josh Nobles. What a catch there. 25-yard pickup and a first down. Next play, they go back to Nobles on the fade. Touchdown. 19 yards, and the extra point would put them up by a score of 7-0 at home early on. Ensuing kickoff now, and Caleb Fuller is going to get it for FPD and trying to make some action happen. He's going to do just that. How about a 30-yard return, get it into Landmark territory, and the Vikings would be in business wearing their white uniforms, of course. Then second play from scrimmage, they give to Darren Moore, and boy, he's taking off. How about 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, can he score? No, he's pushed out of the 1. Next play, though, Brooks Stroud's going to do what he does best. He's going to score for that team. He's done A great work all year long. Punches in from a yard out. Touchdown Vikings, and it's tied at 7. Then Landmark would go back on the ground. Cole Higbee takes the shotgun snap and wrestles his way up the middle for about a couple of yards for a first down. Second quarter now as they change sides. 4th and goal. Landmark Stockton McGuire is going to roll out. It's going to be stopped. What a goal line stand. Great defense by FPD right there. The Vikings would be forced to punt, however, from the end zone, and Higbee is going to get it for Landmark Christian and take this one all the way back to the FPD 27-yard line on the return. Landmark will then try to go deep, and on here a pass by Ben Baggett. It's incomplete, but FPD called for a pass interference, so they give it back to the workhorse for another try. Kirkland rumbles in for the touchdown. Another score for Landmark Christian. The extra point would make it 14-7, Landmark on top. Next drive now, FPD facing 3rd down, and Brooks Stroud is going to roll out and find Scott McCormick. McCormick catches it around midfield and gets a first down, but they would fail to score. And it was 14-7 Landmark at the half. Second half now, and things would soon get pretty bad for FPD. On the opening kickoff, Reggie Gant would get it. Now a little squib kick here, and this is what they try to do. They try to make a fumble happen, and he couldn't hang on to it. Landmark recovers in Vikings territory. War Eagles go back on the ground. They give it to Kirkland up the middle, and he bounces off the pile, and he's gone. How about that? Touchdown. What a play right there for Kirkland. Extra point would make it 21-7 home team. Then FPD plays a little option game to try to get the offense going. Stroud pitches it out to Moore to the right side. Going to take off. How about a 55-yard touchdown run? FPD pulls to within 7, 21-14 on that score right there, but FPD just would struggle offensively a little bit. They were down by 2 touchdowns right on this next play. They would have to go for 3, and Connor Albright would get it from 28 yards. That made it 28-17, but Landmark would pull away and win this game tonight by the score of 38-24. Tough loss for FPD on the road. They finished their season at 7-5, but they should be very happy with a fine football season. We're back with scores from all over the state of Georgia right after this. Join me every weekday afternoon from 3 until 6 for the Bill Shanks Show on Fox Sports 1670 AM in Macon. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio application on your smartphone or iPad. Don't forget to drive to work every morning with the morning show with Chucky Olson and Daniel Shirley from 7 until 9. Let's see how the other teams from Middle Georgia did as we go around the scoreboard and see a bunch of teams that struggled on the road tonight. Here we go. Let's start in the State 5A quarterfinals. This is Ware County down in Waycross, God's country. 14-0, the Gators win. This is the team that Northside will play next week. And remember, these two teams played for the state finals a couple of years ago when Northside won. All right, Quad A state quarterfinals. By the way, the other winners in 5A, Gainesville and Whitewater. Quad A, look at this. Mary Persons loses to Ridgeland 45-14. The Bulldogs finished the season 10-3. A tough time on the road tonight up in Rossville. Ridgeland will now play Marist. They beat Stockbridge tonight. The other winners in 4A, Sandy Creek and Monroe area. AAA state quarterfinals now. Ooh, this is a rough couple of games right here for the home teams, or for our home teams. Peach County loses big to North Hall, 52-10 tonight. And instead of Peach County playing Waco, Waco loses to St. Pius. So St. Pius and North Hall will now play, and Peach County finishes at 11-2, Waco at 11-2 as well. All right, AA. Jefferson over Fitzgerald, 53-51 in 3 overtimes. Jefferson will now play Greater Atlanta Christian in the AA state semifinals. AA state semifinal quarterfinals. Calhoun over Brooks, 49-7. They'll now play Lamar County, who beat Lovett 35-28. All right, quickly, Lincoln County over Wilkinson, 28-22. Dooley over Seminole County, 34-28. Emmanuel County Institute will now play Wilcox County. They won tonight. Prince Avenue over Athens Academy. Prince Avenue will play Landmark Christian. And quickly in the GISA, the AAA championship, Deerfield over Heritage, 27-19. Valwood beats Westwood, 48-13. And Frederica over Robert Toombs, 34-30. So the only teams left in Middle Georgia, Northside, Dooley County, and Wilcox County. We are out of time for this week. Thank you for being with us. For all of us at 41 NBC, I'm Bill Shanks. Good night.